Yarbo's winter tracks are more aggressive and they come with these metal studs pre-installed. These metal studs are really great for ice and hard packed snow. If you do not have a layer of ice on your driveway or a layer of hard packed snow, you generally want to remove these if you care about your driveway getting scratched. So there are some scratches from the studs on the tracks, the metal studs. You can kind of see. There's a little bit, you can kind of feel it. You know, it's just rubbing to fresh cement, so it looks really bright, but that'll usually wear out over time. Probably have an example actually over here, because this summer, yeah, you can see this summer, someone else who was dragging a pallet onto my driveway put some scratches in it. But they were very white like you saw before, and now they're definitely less white, but you can still see it lasts. It's been, what, 6 months maybe when they did that. 4 months actually. So you can see it stays white for a little while, and it'll get darker once things get dirty. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when I power wash. If you don't care, then by all means use them. But they also slip a little bit on cement, so it's better to have rubber on cement. But if you have ice, you definitely want these studs in. The snowstorm that's coming for me, this next one is not going to be icy. It's going to be all nice powder snow. So I'm going to remove them and show you how to remove them. I've already installed the tracks, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to remove them all. As you can see, these ones are kind of tucked in, but I'll show you how to do that without removing the track again. If you haven't installed the track, make sure you decide whether you want these in, and if you want them out, take them out before you put the track on your Yarbo. It makes it a lot easier.
I have to point out that I'm working with Yarbo on the docking station. I would not recommend this. If you absolutely have to do this, make sure your docking station is completely unplugged so it can't be charging. The wireless charging can actually interact with any metals you're working with. For example, I actually tried to measure the docking station while the Yarbo was charging on it, and my tape measure burnt me and started smoking. So it's definitely important to avoid working on your docking station, but it's especially important to avoid working on it when it's plugged in and charging.
What you'll need here is you'll need a 6mm little socket, and I prefer using some sort of drill. It'll go a lot faster. So we'll just go ahead and get that in here. And I'll show you, it's pretty easy. They come right out. You'll see there are these little, basically little screws that just go right into the rubber. Now, same thing if you were to put them back in, you would just very carefully, especially if you're using a drill, you want to go really slow. And you want to make sure it's all the way down, but don't overdo it because it will rip the rubber out. So right there, just so it's touching, the head of it is touching the rubber. Don't go any further than that, or you will rip the rubber and it won't grab next time. So I'm going to take them all out. And you can see the outside ones are super easy to get to. I can get to all of the top ones in one go. Now, I can get to these outside top ones. I can't get to the bottom ones. I'll show you we'll use the remote and we'll move Yarbo. But before we do that, we have to get to these inside ones that we can see right now. So I can get to these. Now, if I have had an extension, which I didn't grab right now, I could get to some more of these, but it's just as easy to move your Yarbo. When I'm working with gloves and stuff, I like to use the game controller. So you turn on with the center button, and you should be able to hit the switch button, hold it down.
Physical controller connected.
You'll feel it vibrate and you'll hear it say physical controller is connected. And now I can move it forward to get to the rest of the studs. So the way to do that is you always, to move, you have to hold down this safety button right here. It's called the right bumper, RB, and it's the top one on the upper right. So you hold that down. Now you can slowly move forward. And now I can get to the rest of these, and I'm just going to basically undo those. And if I wasn't doing a video, I would do the other side as well at the same time, and then move it forward a little bit again. Remember, hold the upper right. If it vibrates at you, it's usually because you're not holding the safety button. So now we move a little further. Now I can get the rest of these and just keep repeating the same thing until all the studs are out. Make sure you put the studs in a safe place, because you'll always want to put them back in if you get a lot of ice. I actually think what I plan to do is buy another set of snow tracks. That way I can keep the studs in and the studs out, like one with and one without. And then I can just replace those tracks a lot quicker than I can probably go through and undo all these studs, because there's a lot of them. But they're definitely needed if it's a lot of ice.